Let's see if this works. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, it's tolerable. Alrighty. So we got a couple of bags of screws and not sorted. Oh well. Good thing I know this model well enough that I can just usually sort them out after the fact. Hello everybody. Okay, by the way, we have yet again slightly different lighting today. I received my soft socks, so to speak, that I can put over the lights to just sort of diffuse the light a little better. And I also received my honeycombs, which help sort of like collaminate, whatever. Anyway, they stop the light from spewing out too much. So it's a bit of a opposing kind of thing. On one hand, I've got the socks that kind of diffuse it, and on the other hand, I've got the honeycombs that constrict it. So we'll see how we go. Hopefully you can see the board all right. Looks like there's... There, you see on this side, I've got the diffuser. On this side, I've got the honeycomb. And you can tell the difference. There's a stronger shadow. Oh, yeah. Let's see if I can crank the light up a little bit. Not too much though. There we go. I don't want to go much higher than that. Shadows are roughly evenish. Hey there, Harold. Reese, Gavin, Jerome, Serge, Bunty. Alright, so apparently this has got port issues. So, wear my nice new glasses, which look like my old glasses, except they're adapted for my aging vision that has shifted yet again over the last 2 years. No great surprises, that's entirely normal. The only trouble is it means I can't read the frickin' screen at the same time. Oh well. Is this, what is this, going to be an 850? Pretty sure this will be an 850. Oh no, it's a 923. Whoops, my bad. 923, better adjust that. Crap, wrong button. This is 1556. Okay. Alright, so... Which charge ports for the trouble ones? Left hand side. Okay, so these ones. Hey creature. Joe. Nick. Oh nice, underfill. Yeah, sure, why not? Why not indeed? Bit of damage on that cap down there. Okay, so hopefully that's all we're dealing with there. A bit of damage on the inputs there, a bit of corrosion there. Ah, shit on a stick, there's corrosion over here too. Yeah, it's never simple. That's all going to have to be cleared up. That's going to have to be cleared up. Yep, never simple. Alright, let's get to it. Clean up in aisle 6. Okay, am I a little out of focus? Which I need to find something that I can distinctly see on screen so that I can adjust my focus accordingly. Okay. Okay, we should be good. Hey Jim. Come on. Seriously. Honestly, I spend all day debugging code only to find that the freaking code now decides not to work naturally. It's just... And now the mouse. What the hell? Disabled by hub. You gotta be kidding me. Well, it seems like it's not really my day at the moment. Alright, now we're back. I'm gonna leave it like that for now. I really could do for my USB-C meter. Possible I can stay dead. Alright. And now we finally get continuity mode. That's a mess. That's going to be a mess under there too. This is all a very ugly mess. Very ugly mess. And I do not have my usual multimeter lead holder, so I've got to get another one of those. Unfortunately, I'm using it for the camera at the moment. Right. This is certainly not what I would call a trivial job. It's not a hard job, I hope, but it's not trivial. I want to give that CD3215 a reason to need redoing. So like I said, I mean, I'll do them, but it'd be nice if I didn't have to do that one. Creature, what are you using the IDE for anyway? Real programmers just use Vim or Emacs. You don't need an IDE. Besides, Creature, someone with your brain capacity, you should be the debugger. You should already know in your head what those variables are doing. Like I say, you don't need a computer to keep track of that for you. I wonder if that one there might have been a problem, because I can see the veer stalk appears to be separated from the pad. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not, but you can see how the veer stalk is distinct from the actual pad. Yeah, they're not a nicely joined together entity. Just going to see what that is connected to. And that's... Alright, so they're all connected there. So what I'll do is I'll just... The question is, maybe that takes the DC in somewhere, and that's the problem. Because that's PPDC in. And if that veer stalk is taking it off to some place and it doesn't have a redundant connection, then it's not going to work. So we can just smush it together like that and then solder over the top. And we'll just transplant some parts from another board, probably a 239 or something like that. I don't think I've... Oh yeah, I've got a 928. Jeez. Oh wait, this is 928, not 923. The numbers are similar, but the sizes... So that's a 923 and that's a 928. So you can see that's definitely not a match. Let's see, another 928, naturally. 1041, still no good. 239. $850 might be a good enough match. Let's see if I don't have another 239 there. I'll try this one. So that's vastly nicer looking parts apart from the fact that we've lost that. So we'll just transplant this entire cluster, thankfully. It's not going to matter if I mix those caps up, they're all connected basically to the same. It was still pretty dumb. We'll get the other stuff across first. Who's the idiot who thought that was a good idea? Not putting them down perfectly at the moment. We'll let the reflow do that when it comes time. Okay, we got the MOSFET across. Might just flux up that area a little. So I keep trying to get rid of that hair that's on the end of that flux tip, but it keeps coming back. It's a simple stage done. Onward with the rest of the crap. This is like this here, I think it's an 8-pin dual land or something like that. The clock crystal, yeah, okay, it looks like it's alright. But certainly that cap, that filter, this chip, hopefully not that chip, those caps, yeah, it's, in fact, yeah, the whole thing's just a freaking disaster. And that damned hair. Come here, hair. You are out of here. By the way, we hit over 40,000 entries on open board data now. So it's certainly making good progress. That's for network values, things like diode, resistance, volts, whatever's relevant. So it's certainly coming together nicely. Come on, take the solder. Alright, here we go, more transplanting. Oh man. I wonder if I should do it stacked wise. I'll try to do it stacked so I don't have to flip and flop so much. It makes it a little bit weird. This one will be out of focus, but it does make it a quicker process. The nice thing is it sort of preheats the board below. Unfortunately, I do still have to shift the, put the, what do you call it, the hot air back into the handle. Ah, don't you dare do that. Feisty. Hey, Caradog, did you find out why there was that price discrepancy, or is it just the fact that they doing you English men over a little harder? Oh, Caradog's one of those people that will actually watch the video right from the start. Someone tell him it's not worth it. Alright, next stage, got to clear up this section down here. Almost certain this chip here is going to have grief. Looks, I'm fairly sure it's a dual NAND or dual NOR or something like that. Needs to say they do tend to suffer a bit of damage. Thank you, Jim. He'll ignore me, probably. By the way, I hope that the microscope quality is up to par at the moment, because I succumbed to something I never wanted to today, and I end up having to buy a monster branded cable. It's very traumatic to have to admit that. It was the only cable that I could find in the store that was long enough and had the ability to keep up with the 60 frames per second 4K that the microscope puts out. Like, you can sort of get away with it at times with an HDMI 2.0B or 2.0C, I think it is, but every now and then it just won't sync. So yeah, I had to go get an actual proper, well, this doesn't even say it's a 2.1 spec, but the fact that it says 8K 60 gives me hope that maybe it actually can. Ooh, I missed that cap there. $3 meter cable. Unfortunately, it was on special, so I got about half price. If it was full price, I would have just walked away. I think the ones that are around about 1.2 to 1.5 meters, I was getting away with it. But because I wanted the cable to hang over a hook so that it wouldn't actually drag across my keyboard or the screen, it required me to go up to about 3 meter length. I could have tried 2 meters length, but I think it would have been just a smidge too short. But it was interesting to see how very few of the cables openly showed what their HDMI spec rating was. Most of them just sort of like covered it up as if to go, no, you don't need to look at that. Ah, crap, I just realised that chip there is smack onto here, I think so. I'm probably going to have to do a... Yeah, what am I looking at here? Oh no, I'm okay. I'm okay. Needless to say, I was having trouble getting it to synchronize properly, you know, get a hold of the frames just to get it started. But I've had no trouble with this new cable so far, so I guess we'll just have to accept that I had to pay that and just walk away. Oh, what the hell was that? Just heard something go stomping around in the house. Yeah, we've got corrosion up here. Seriously? Good God, man. What was this, a swamp monster? How much more corrosion is there? I hate it when you get boards like this, because, okay, you fix the primary fault, but then there's often a ton of... Oh, for... Anyway, as I was saying, there's often a ton of corrosion elsewhere, and by God there is. Yeah, that's a mess. See tidal marks as are set in other places. This here is a disaster. That's going to have to be replaced. That's all real. What did this go for a wash or something in the ocean? I'll give it a clean up, but it's going to need replacing on those parts. Otherwise, it's going to come back at me. And I really hate it when boards come back at me. Certainly those caps under there are definitely going to need replacing. That one there below the CD3215 also definitely needs replacing. I'm actually getting to the point now where in the past I would accept liquid damage MacBooks. You know, you go, okay, yeah, that's fine, yeah, we can fix that up, and you deny iPhones on the grounds of like they're too problematic. But it is getting to the point now of the part densities that we're seeing on the MacBooks that it's going to be required that we'll simply list liquid damage MacBooks as data recovery only. There's a part missing there too. God damn it. Yep, this is going to be fun. This isn't even the left-hand side. This is the right-hand side. Okie dokie. I'm just going to switch down to 250 centigrade, and we're going to chip away at the overfill slash underfill slash annoying as hell black gunk that does help but isn't helping. Yeah, that cap just came clean off. I didn't even have to push that one, that just walked itself out of the park. Now hopefully it left behind a trace. That one typically, okay, it looks pretty good, this one. Quite often that one there will pull up that pad and take it with it. Creature, you complain a lot, don't you? Now that's got me worried there because the veer is missing. It's corroded away. Now if it's just a cap, fair enough, we can live with that. But if it's not a cap, if it's a resistor of some importance, that's going to be hell. Ugh, just realised this is the wrong colour settings. That'll do. Alright, looks a little more realistic. Okay, so second from the top, looks like we've got CBO11. Oh, joy. Display port, auxiliary channel. Yeah, so we may well need that. Crap. Yeah. And very frustratingly, that goes straight under to here. So if we cannot dig it out of here, we will not get it. That resistor's also a bit busted up. Honestly, the left-hand side looks better than the right-hand side. And yeah, we do need this cap because this is an AC coupled line. And without the caps, well, there's just no way to get that data across. So we're going to have to dig. And we're going to need a new blade for digging. Also, sad news, my beloved Dremel, battery-powered Dremel system. I was cleaning up my workshop and I dropped it, or it fell off the bench. Now it has a bent shaft. It's only ever so slightly bent, but when you're spinning at 20,000 RPM, you really notice it. Subsequently, I'm going to have to get another one. There's just no way that I can effectively get that bend out of it. Like I had to do a job today where I need to get the pentalobe screws out of an iPhone 11 because someone put super glue on the bottom. And even with heating and everything like that, it still didn't come out. So I need to use the diamond burr bit to cut a slot, and unfortunately that didn't work because it was vibrating so much that I couldn't get a proper I couldn't get a proper slot done. It just ended up being a big mess. Anyway, I'm not sure if that is the pad or not. Like, that copper there. I don't know if that is the one we're after. I'd imagine it would be, simply because you wouldn't normally run a trace that close on the same layer. It's just, you just wouldn't do it. I really hope that's it. It's not the collet that's bent, it's the shaft that goes from the motor. It comes out of the motor. The motor shaft itself is bent. Anyway, it's about 6-7 years old now. So we've got 502. So if this matches, we'll consider it to be... No, that's definitely nowhere near a match. It doesn't feel like it's the right... yeah. Oh, we've got more corrosion. I just spotted here. There. No, this is a frickin' disaster. Yeah, I know, Creature. What I'm saying is the motor itself is just like, you try to drive, it just wobbles like hell. It reminds me of when we used to get those in-runner motors, and every now and then you'd get slightly dodgy in-runner with the shaft not quite perfect, and no matter what you tried, you just couldn't get that balance out. I could get another Mavici motor and reconnect the coupling and all that sort of stuff. Quite frankly, I'd just, given its age, I would just go and get another whole unit. Okay, now I'm genuinely having a difficult time believing that that is the right trace, but I can't imagine why it wouldn't be, other than the fact, like I said, the diode mode is completely different between the two of them. So theoretically, these two should be, like I said, 0.79, 0.79, so that and that are good. Actually, I just realised what I can do now. I don't know what I'm thinking. Clearly I'm a bit brain farty at the moment, but I can actually connect to that one. So that to that, I'll just cover this over, and no one's going to know any different. Because that trace, it must have been a surface trace. Alright, we'll just get some UV cure or something, fill that hole up. Yeah, this is by no means a quick, easy job. This one's turning into a nightmare. This one's going to be a case of get the data off and honestly just move to a new machine. This logic board is not going to last. It's got too many issues with it already. It's the only effective way to get to those pads. I mean, other than taking the shield off. See if we can get that damn capacitor off too. Come on. Off ye come. No. Great, it looks like hell, but it doesn't want to come off. Great. I don't know what happened to the pad there. That pad there is fine, but what happened to this one? Oh, there it is. That's how nasty it was underneath. It looked like it was just part of the circuit board. By the way, the circuit boards for the, what I hope will be the last revision as such of the microscope light, they're on their way to me now. So another 2 or 3 weeks and finally actually be able to look at putting it into production. Hey Ed. I'm genuinely worried about the state of all these parts here. I think it's going to be a case if I can get this to boot, then the stipulation's simply going to be back it up, walk away. That resistor's not attached onto that pad there. There's too many of these things, there's too many of these pads that are just not going to... They're just not going to be making contact. Yeah, tin's turned black. It's a bad sign. Yeah, see, that one just came right off. That one too. At least it isn't so bad that the traces out the pads won't take new solder. So I'm thankful for that at least. But it's still a disaster. It's certainly going to take longer than I want. I need to get some assistive heat down there because this little micro pencil is not going to have the capacity to do what we're trying to do there. And do some more scratchy ups. Caradog, I can only imagine it's because you're further from China, but then you guys have got a hell of a lot more buying power than we have here in Australia. Oh well, at least I guess the point is at the end of the day, if you feel like it's worth it, then, well, there's no harm in buying it. It's a bit like me buying this stupid 8K monster cable. Like I said, it was only just worth it because the fact it was half price. And I wanted to 100% eliminate the possibility of my cable being the cause. But aside from that, Not really one to buy the monster cables at all. It was always very laughable back in the late 90s, early 2000s about how ludicrously priced monster cables were for what they were. And yet people bought them, and it was just made it even more hilarious. Get in. Right. And then we get in with the little tip. Right. Now we should have just the right sort of setup there to get those parts down. Let's see, what's CV300? 10 microfarads, 6.3. How unusual. 10.6.3. And the 402 size, of course. Yeah. Come on. Out you get. Come on. I'll take the 201s while I'm at it. And Jason's finally arrived. Jason, this is a disaster, this one. This is basically a swamp machine. It's been everywhere. There's corrosion everywhere. Everywhere. You're going to have to tell the customer that this one, they can get their data off it and then I'll pretty much walk away from it, to be honest. There is so much just deep-seated corrosion that's just working its way through the board. Even when I ultrasonic clean this, it's going to have, eventually going to have dramas. .470 nanofarad, 6.3. I think this thing's been buried in the peat bogs of Ireland. Actually, to be fair, things buried in those peat bogs tend to come out looking a hell of a lot better than this. Okay, 470 nanofarad, 6.3. This has definitely had ingress of actual spillage. This isn't just atmospherical. This is spillage ingress. But yeah, I'd strongly recommend get the data off and seriously consider another machine, replacement, because if it doesn't give out this week, it might, well, next week. I mean, as it is, I'm going to be fighting here to get DisplayPort back too. Let's see, 100 nanofarad, 16 volt 201s. Yeah, no, pass on that. 100K 201. Aha, 100K 201. Yeah, it looks like whatever it was, yeah, the tea that she spilt or whatever, it's gone in both sides. And I know one side in particular was down, but crap, I only need one of those. Yeah, it's definitely wicked around both sides of the machine. So chances are there's going to be problems with the chassis as well in the near future. I don't know what the USB-C ports are even like. Like a lot of these parts here, they're probably... the pads underneath are probably starting to get eaten. What's this? Oh, another. Great. I threw away that 100k because I thought I didn't need a second 100k, but it turns out that one there actually is needed. Damn you, universe. On the one hand, you try to guide me, on the other hand, you try to trick me. Oh, well, I can send it back to you and you can just, copy it off. I'll just make sure it does boot up well enough. I'm just really hoping that I don't upset the CD3215s too much here. Oh, flippity flip. There we go, searching for 100k that flew away. That's... No, that 100k is gone again. Well, good thing I buy them in spools of a few hundred. Yes, it certainly did go one free. Yeah, at least with 603s, you definitely got a chance of seeing them. And, 402s, you even have a bit of a chance. By the time you get to 201, you're walking into the realm of dust. It's most definitely 201s. 105s. Oh, for far out, you got to be kidding me. Come on. Oh, look at that. Look at that. There it is there, hiding. It's like, nope, can't see me. I need to get some flux down there so that it can actually stick around. Crikey. Yeah, have some flux. Yeah, Creature, you end up needing a whole room for all the spools of things that you end up with. I've still got, I did that LiPo normalizer and all those other projects for the RC stuff. I still have dozens upon dozens of reels of all the resistors I used for that. About the only one I regularly use still is the 603 10k reel. Maybe the 100k now and then, but yeah, mostly the 10k. The rest of them just sit there and they're rotting. And it doesn't help that I got a lot of obscure values in there as well. Like when I did the little compact LiPo charger, I just selected the various power of 2 divisions. And so you look at those values and go, no one's going to use those values again. Jason, let me check. Yes, it is the Leandro machine, correct. Yeah, Creature, I try the same these days. It's such a schlep otherwise to have to carry so many different values. And I try to do as much as I can in 603 or 402. I mean, 201 if I genuinely have no room left, but for the most part, I know you would be doing mostly 201 and 105s, probably with your work. Fortunately, I don't have that constraint. But yeah, trying to stick to the really common values is definitely a good philosophy. And all the capacitor decades, of course. 10 nanofarad, 100 nanofarad, 1 microfarad. Try to avoid all those split values. Alright, where the hell's my UV torch? Wow, someone shouldn't have cleaned up their desk. UV torch, where are you? Can't imagine I would have taken it out of this room, but then again, I have been known to do rather stupendous things at times. I do know that I can cook off the UV cure stuff just by using heat, but I really prefer not to do that because it does result in a different structure, it seems. I don't even know where my UV lamp is. Like, I've got a 5-volt powered UV lamp as well. Yeah, just in case I happen to lose the UV torch. Hello, what's going on here? Someone's beeping at me? Right. Come up, torch. Where are you? Don't be shy. I've been trying hard to organise my workshop lately, but it's still always a struggle because you're trying to balance up getting jobs done versus, I found my lamp at least. Okay, we're going to do it through the lamp. And now we just need an appropriate supply. I'll give that a minute or two and it should be good. Hello Harold, good to see you still there. I was wondering where you disappeared to. I used to use 805s a lot, but then I kept running into the issues with just not having enough space when I used 805, so mostly I switched over to 603s. Like, I think there's a couple of 402s on here. Simply, I didn't need to. Hell, I could have put 1206s pretty much all over this thing. But, yeah, it's mostly 603s on here. I do have a bit of a predicament I'm trying to sort out in my head here with the production of this, and that is that the once I put the display on, it's locked in and all the circuitry is under there. Now you can still reprogram it, the programming header is accessible, but if you need to modify anything in the electronics, you've got to cut the display off. Now the simplest way around that is to put the display on the back side, just flip it around, reroute it and things like that. The downside is then that you have exposed componentry on the back, and I don't like that either. The third option, which of course is more expensive, is that you can get very low profile, I think about 3.5mm low profile 0.1 pitch headers, which these can then plug into, and I'll have to use slightly taller. These are 4.8 standoffs, so I'll probably have to go like a 6.5 or 6mm standoff, something like that. So yeah, they're the three compromises or three issues I'm sort of pondering on. Should I really care? I mean, I can't imagine too many people are going to need to change much in there in the first place, and you've got the programming header access, so you can access the contrast and the brightness control for the LCD up here. Is there really any need? Does it really matter? These are the questions that I have to ponder on. I'm going to say it probably actually doesn't matter in the main picture. Hey there, Shad. If people really want to modify that stuff, then they can just desolder the headers. Hey, Alexi. Saw you sneak in there. Francis, yes, I know the ones you're talking about. They're sort of like the ones that sit on the back of it, and the pin header goes through the board and then it's captured on the back. I have seen that. Although again, that does bring me to the fact that there will effectively be contacts on the rear of the board again. Caradog, the normalizer back in the day, we're talking like early 2000s here, with model aircraft, when we'd have like a 2S or 3S pack, we needed something to be able to bring those cells down to a storage voltage, something that we could safely, because back then the packs were a little more volatile than they are now. So we tried to minimize our risks. And so you'd bring the voltage down to about, I don't know, I think it was about 3.75 volts or something like that, around about that. And so the normalizer would just simply be something you plugged in, you plug the battery header into it, the one that gives you access to all the cells, and then it just simply drains off the excess power until it hits the right voltage. And that was it. The big problem I'm finding, Creature and Francis, with those options is the cost. Ugh, why is my phone beeping at me? What did I do this time? Jason's sending me stuff. Okay, got that, Jason. I got it. Yeah, unless I get it from, say, AliExpress. Oh, great, no more bugs appearing there. Unless I get it from, say, AliExpress, those low-profile headers, or just anything out of the ordinary, it tends to be a little pricey. Okay, so what cap do we need there? Great, so Creature gives me an AliExpress link. Bravo, Creature, Graja. Oh, you're talking about the splayed leg type, right? Okay. Yeah, these things. Okay. I wonder if it'll show the ones I was looking at. Because if I get a pair of 6 pin ones, then it works fine. Yeah, so these sort of things are pretty cool too, yeah. Let's see, I can't find the ones that I was looking for. But yeah, the ones I was looking at, it was like a normal pin header socket, but it was 3.5mm profile, and I only need to get 2 6 units. Let's see, 6-way 0.1 inch header. I could do machine pins, but they're too delicate. 3.5mm. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so you can get these in 6-way, and I just need 2 of those. So 3.5 is pretty tolerable. I've got plenty of these horrible ones. They're like 8.5mm, ridiculously tall. Anyway, that's for another debate. Oh wait, no, I need to get this capacitor. Welcome to the real time. Okay, so we've got 100 nanofarad, 16 volt, 201. Yeah, I know it doesn't go in too far, but I am going to have it. It is going to be reinforced by the standoffs, so I'm kind of thinking I might be able to get away with it. And Alexi's saying just solder it. So yeah, I'm going to go with Alexi. I'm figuring if it really matters to them, they can modify it. The only time it's going to bite me in the ass is if I make a mistake and have to redo them all. In which case, then yes, I will suffer considerably. Why is MacBook Air 2015 work fake charger but doesn't with the original? The one wire circuit's botched up. You're talking about 1466. There'll be something wrong with the one wire circuit or the SMC. Probably, it may be on the DC inboard itself, but that's why. So what's happening is that the SMC is not actually authenticating, saying yes, I'm ready for your connection, but because you've got a non-genuine power supply brick, it doesn't give two hoots whether the MacBook is ready for it or not. It says, here comes the power, buddy, take it or not. And that's why it works with the dud ones, the third-party ones. And Alexi, I am thinking I'll probably have to end up getting like that Ender Pro 3D, whatever, flippity flip $700, $800 3D machine. I was looking at the reviews for the budget Ender 3 thingy, and there were just too many things that people had to modify to give acceptable performance. And I already fight enough with dodginess just with my own life without having to add another layer because I went for the budget option. And if 3D printers are as handy as everybody seems to indicate that they are, then I may as well invest in one properly. Oh, for God's sake, Paul, learn to actually string a wire. Wow, what is wrong with me? No. Feeling the incompetence today. Okay. The trouble I was having there just now was that there wasn't enough solder on either end to hold it when I wanted to solder the other end. Bonjour, Michael. Ça va? Echt niet, man. Bijakak. £16 16,000. Yeah, I don't think I'll be up at that area. For me, it's more about prototyping, and I'll leave the production to someone else. If there's one thing I've learned in life is I am not a production man. Oh, the titanium ones, right? Yeah, okay, that's understandable then. That's actually pretty cheap, really. You should be charging more. Okay. Alex, you have over 13 printers. What do you do with all those printers? Are you running a production there or something? That's insane. Or are they just a collection of different ones that you've accumulated over the years? Hello, Arnold. Yeah, That's as bad as the number of MacBooks I keep. Come on, man. There we go. Yeah, there wasn't any connection whatsoever on that one. Yeah, alright, you people are all just, you're all just making fun of the fact that I'm slow to the party and I don't have a single 3D printer. I have a CNC machine that I haven't even ever spun the spindle on yet. Oh wow, there is no pad here. That's just circuit board. Sorry, that's just fiberglass that you can see there. Okay, now we're getting a bit of pad. Wow, that's ridiculous. Look at this. I'm hoping that's ground. I'm fairly sure it is, but I really hope it is. Hey, Drachev. Yeah, I'm fairly sure that's ground. Then again, no, it's not. No, that's a power rail. I just noticed you can see the lighting reflected there. Let's see, that is that one there. Oh, it's the 20 volt. Yay! Crap. Alright. Neon Venrita. Let's better check to see if we've got continuity in the right sort of areas that we need, otherwise we'll get nowhere with this. Let's see, we've got a big fat diode over here, so that's 20 volts. Continuity mode, possibly. Donkey. Yeah, okay, so if we carve away a bit more over here, we'll probably get away with it. That's pretty lame. God damn it, I need to get my my multimeter cable hooks. It's an absolute pain in the backside not being able to just throw my cables up in the air and they get collected by the hook that I used to have. Hey there, Hoofsmith. Good evening to you. Caradog, why are you not working anyway? Graham not got something for you to do? Okay, so this capacitor is a 1 microfarad 35 volt. Alright, so let's decide to push those limits out a little bit. I guess it is on the 20 volt line, so it makes sense that they would go for 35. 25 might have been a little bit sus and close to 20 volts, so they played it careful. Let's see, 1010, 4, 1010, 1. Oh man, I'm probably not going to have. I'm going to have to go donor board for this one. 22016, 1 microfarad, 25 volts, not good enough. Need another 10 on top. I said, push come to shove, you probably could get away with it, but I don't want to. 1000 picofarad, 50 volts, not even remotely close. 100 nanofarads, 35 volts. Yeah, we're all over the place here. 6.3, 25 again, 50 volts. Another 3,500 now, but yep. Don't abort time, as much as I hate doing that. Hello? Oh, okay. What's going on here? Ah, my wife is messaging me about a bookcase. Alright. I'd better answer back. We can always bond it to the wall or restrain it to the wall. She's going to be like, why are you doing answering while you're in live stream? Responding to the wife is always highest priority. Always. Oh, you don't work with him? Oh, okay. Do you work at all? I don't know. I don't know what your career status is, unfortunately. It's not something I really stick my nose into, but since it's now come to the forefront of the discussion, I have to find out. Are you a professional discussion person? Okay, well, the fact that you say well, okay, that says everything. I know you're just a closet Margaret Thatcher futurist person. I know, I can't say things like that. That's wrong. That's wrong. That seems to be the favourite insult. That, for a lot of Australians, that was the last sort of Prime Minister of England that we sort of took notice of. No offence, but I didn't compare you to her. Then again, it's probably actually that resistor there is going to need to come off. Thatcherism and Reaganism, that was pretty much the era I grew up in. And Gorbachev. And then seeing the Berlin Wall come down and all that sort of stuff. And honestly, back then we thought, wow, finally, the future has arrived. The world is a happier, loving, peaceful place. Bloody hell, were we wrong. Yeah, good old Gorbachev. Anyone that paid attention straight was the one that drowned while swimming. Oh, yeah. We never found him either. So maybe he actually didn't drown. Maybe he just decided, stuff this, I'm out of here. Can't blame him, to be honest. Oh yeah, Sir Jacoby Peterson. And Flo and her scones, pumpkin scones, and their peanut business in Kingaroy. I actually lived for a little while next to Kingaroy in a little town called Nanango. Oh, lo and behold, what do you know? This resistor here, it's 100k. It's like, how many 100k's did I lose? They're probably randomly stuck on the board somewhere. Yeah, the cap's got to be at that angle simply because of the fact that I can't rebuild the trace, because there is no trace. There's no trace of the trace. Not far from Sunshine. It's a moderate distance, I'd say. It was often quicker for us to go to Toowoomba. I did like Toowoomba. Of all the places up in that region that, well, in, say, the southeast coast, I would say Mullaney is my favourite, which is up on the Sunshine Coast hinterlands, for people who don't know. It's just a really nice, cool, cozy place. Usually inundated with tourists, unfortunately. Oh, that's the 10:30 call for the micro and his insulin. We'll just get this cap down, this resistor down. Oh man. Okay. Yep. Okay, I gotta go do the insulin. Hey, Nicholas. Yep. My wife just said naughty words at me for answering so quick. Alright. we are back. What was I doing? That's right, we were just hunting down the old corrosion. Now, because we're not finished yet. We've done the USB-C ports, but yeah, there's more crap to be done. There's always more to be done. God damn it. Damn it. We've got to get that hook. It's pissing me off. Yep. There's always a million things that you have to readjust when you go and change your whole workshop setup. Geez, I hope it hasn't taken out Piccolo, because that'll mess up the drive. So I better fix up that cap. If you have a drive missing on an 850 board, a 1706 machine, try check around the Piccolo area for a short circuit, or the Piccolo itself is short circuited. That's the most common cause. I can smell flying ants in here. That's not good. Oh, so what was Caradog saying he doesn't do in life? Oh, I know what you are, Caradog. You're a professional cider taster. Yes, I need to get more cider on this channel, but it has to be alcohol-free cider. Sorry, I really can't pick up the alcohol habit again. If I can help it. Yeah, looks like we're going to have another 45-degree cap. He does not pee standing up. Oh, that's good. Glad to see I'm not the only one that's sufficiently lazy. It's too much hard work sometimes. Besides, how are you supposed to play your games? Alright, so that capacitor is just a generic 100 nanofarad 63201. Alright, suits me. Oh, what was the voltage rating on that one? Oh yeah, 6.3. Duh. Idiot. 16 volt? Yeah, whatever, that's not going to make any difference in this case. Ginger beer. Yeah, I do actually frequently get the Bundaberg ginger beer. I do like it. It can get a little bit sweet for me, a little bit too much sugar. Hey, Cecilia. Jason, yes. I remember seeing those rather advanced bidet type toilets out of Japan back in the late 80s and 90s. Certainly a far more respectful way of doing things. Alright, so this is the section that I think Jason showed me in a photo. He said, here you go. Turns out there's a lot more to it. really just looks like that cap there, but that one seems okay still. Oh, that you can go really up class and just have someone do it for you. Not sure I could handle that. Oops. Let's see, do we have the same section on this board? We should have. What? God damn it. My microscope was possessed and it just hit me in the face. I kid you not, it swung around and hit me in the face. Clearly the poltergeists are getting angry around here. This being the sort of town it is, while it isn't quite steeped in the spiritual history of places like Oxford or any such similar, we do have a pretty gnarly 150 years worth of angry miners and death and all that sort of stuff. So there's probably some cranky bums hanging around here, slamming doors, turning lights on and off. I still cannot quite explain to myself this day how it is that I knew that my bedroom lights were going to start turning on at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I got up to try and race the switch. I was in bed asleep, my wife was with me. Got up to try and race the switch, but it turned on before I could get there, and then I tried turning it off and it wouldn't turn off. That was fun. And then after that, you know how you sort of stupidly just pretend nothing happened, you go back to sleep, and then I felt it was going to happen again, and sure enough it did. Yeah, we've had the switch replaced, but there wasn't really anything visibly wrong with it. It's just quirky sort of moments like that which make you question things. Yeah, if it was just a case of the lights turned on arbitrarily during the day or at night when I was awake, I would go, yeah, fair enough, you know, it's entirely understandable that switches can misbehave. But the fact that I actually was in a deep sleep, well, I was asleep, and I woke up in the anticipation of it about to happen, that's the bit that kind of wigs me out. And the 3 o'clock probings by the aliens. They gotta stop that stuff. So, Caradog, are you a casual student? If you're not a professional student, you're a casual student. Glitch in the Matrix, I would probably go for that. I'm more than content with the concept that we are in fact in some kind of a simulation. I wouldn't be surprised if this turns out to be a 13th floor scenario. I'm more than content with that. The only gripe I would have is that I'd be frustrated that I wasn't able to capitalise on the opportunities presented in order to be able to adjust my reality. I think the one thing that always sort of leaves me with the belief that there's a little more to everything is just the concept of anything existing. When you consider that something has to come from something, you can't go from nothing to something. And that just melts your brain when you think about that more and more. It's like, at some point, something has to start. And even if you say, oh, there's no start, there's no beginning, that's fine. But outside of that cyclic system, you've got to realise that there's still something's got to come from somewhere. It's incredibly boggling. Even if you say that we are in a simulation and it's shown that we are, then you just simply reapply that rule to the outside of that, and it goes ad infinitum. It hurts the brain. Unless you're energy. Well, even then G's got to come from somewhere, doesn't it? Right. These two... I really don't want to have to replace these two because they're so close to here and here. Creature goes and ruins the whole mood. Good job, Creature. Someone sending me a picture of aliens. This better not be someone sneezed on the lens. And we're having LGMs here. Alright, time to test this board and see whether I'm just wasted 2 hours of my life. And I'm not far off from that. 1 hour, 40 minutes. Seriously, it's very dangerous doing these kind of jobs because, yeah, it's a lot of time goes into them and the payoff is very infrequent. I need my glasses. Oh, you actually watch QI. Creature watches QI. Cool. It's nice to see there are some cultured members amongst us. So is anybody going to be applying for the Futo fellowships? Someone needs to create one that's for a ring so we can have the Fellowship of the Ring. Just for laughs. Seems like an interesting concept. Yeah, 20,000 bucks in your pocket. Work for 6 months, just stuffing around, doing what you do normally. Making connections. I would say more than anything, the chance to make the connections with other people is probably the more valuable part of that fellowship. Doesn't matter if your product turns out to be complete crap. If you can make the right connections while you're there, that will be your that will be the thing that propels your life forward. Almost every time in life that there's been a good deal of progress for me, it's not because of what I knew, it's because who I knew. Talking to the right people at the right time, in the right way. Let's see, so we've got 20 volts, 1 amp. So the left hand side does appear to be sort of functioning. 700, 900, 700, 600, there we go, yep, okay, so left hand side is working. Hey, Keith McDermott. Like I mean, you obviously got to know, you got to at least be able to deliver on the goods ultimately, but for the most part, if you can present yourself to the right people in a way that is not like you're trying to present yourself to the right people. If you just sort of make a natural connection with the right kind of people, you will move ahead very quickly. Like I said, if it comes across naturally, most of the time, if you push it, you're probably going to be rejected very quickly because you're coming across as contrived, and that rarely goes down well. Dodumres, thank you very much for the 14 Australian Dodumres. Dodumres just simply gave YouTube the middle finger and gave me money directly through PayPal rather than the contribution system. Oh, right, okay. Alright, so that's booting Jason. I'm going to put that through the ultrasonic cleaner and hope to God that it actually survives that. Yeah, that's right, Caradog. You know, it's one thing to talk and make the connections. You have to actually still deliver on what they feel like you are proposing or are offering. If you don't, then that will probably be your first and only connection, at least in that circle of people. And so after that, you'll have to up and move, find a new circle of people. And I guess that's when you decide that you're actually a professional con man instead. Alright, that one's out of the way. Thank flip. How many have I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got a few too many machines in here. Okay, I'm just going to find something else. Okay, I've got a 1502 no power. That's actually not something I normally encounter anymore. So let's get that one on the bench and try and knock it out the park. Jason has 3 urgent ones. Well, we've done 1 urgent one for you. We did the most urgent one. I've also got to get these other urgent ones by other people too. It's okay. The other urgent ones will get tomorrow. But I need to get this one out of the way as well. Hey Patrick, welcome. Did you see the drawing I sent concerning placement of the power connector for the ring light? Blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah. Sorry, thanks for reminding me about that. I did. In the end, I'm just basically, I'm just going to go with how it kind of is. And then if people want to avoid if they are finding it's colliding to the back brace, back panel of the microscope holder, they can just buy themselves a right angle connector. The main reason I sort of am going to sidestep doing that cable hold technique is because it's more assembly work and stuff like that. I'm trying to keep these things as simple as possible. That's definitely one thing with manufacturing, is you try your very hardest to ensure that you have the least number of steps that can be fucked up. Alright. Which is why it's nice when you have a complete device simply on the circuit board and that's it. That's the whole device. But it's cool. I mean, I appreciate the suggestion. It was an interesting way of doing it too. That's the other thing, is like, if you are doing it for yourself, then yes, you can do a lot more of those kind of things. When it starts getting into production runs, you sort of have to leave a lot of that stuff out, unfortunately. Right, well, straight away, the CPU data link connector there has got corrosion on it. Let's get the scanner on. Beep. Let's see what comes up, shall we? 1545. A1534 replacement screen. Robert Cook, you should be able to get those almost anywhere, because nobody wants to do anything with the A1534, because the A1534 unfortunately is one of the worst designs that Apple came up with. In fact, it'd probably go to the point where Apple would deny even having designed that one. It was just a complete disaster, that machine. Anyway, it dies. The CPU itself internally dies, or the SSD controller dies and takes all the data with it anyway. So if you do know somebody with a 1534 that is working still, make them back up their data and then throw it out the building. I personally don't have a problem with MacBooks, unlike some other people who seem to be like frothing in the mouth against them. I actually quite like them. I think they're a better computer than most laptops. Maybe a little more expensive, but overall I'm very happy with them. What is this? Yeah. But the 1534, it is probably the only MacBook that I can think of that is worse than the A1425. The 1425 was another one of those transition type MacBooks where they didn't know what they were doing. They were just like, well, let's just try to put this and this together, and fortunately that was a very short-lived one, like the 1534. And after that we got the beautiful 1502, which was indeed what the 1425 should have been in the first place. The M1, actually, yeah, I actually quite like the M1 as well. I don't buy into the whole hype of it being supremely faster than all the other processors and all that sort of stuff. It's very good for what it is designed for in terms of like the hardware encoders, all that sort of support that it has built in makes it very good for very quick for processing that kind of data. But if you step outside of that, that's when you find or are reminded very quickly that you are once again, in fact, on an ARM architecture type system. Okay, we've got corrosion on the microphone connector as well here. Like I said, I still think they're really nice MacBooks, and I'm probably going to get one myself. Right now, I think I'm running on I think I got a 1706 for myself. I can't remember what it is that I'm using. But yeah, I'm not frothing in the mouth anti-Apple by any means. I mean, I hate some of the things that they've done, and from a business perspective, they're an excellent example of capitalism at work. But in terms of their machines and everything, I really don't have a problem with them. I mean, oh yeah, okay, I can see a bunch of trouble here. We've got random bits of fur. Apps not made for M1. Well, the Flex board view runs on M1 with the Rosetta, no problem. Or crossover, or whatever they call it. Okay, that's the reason why this thing is not firing up. I like it when it's like this. And that's, unfortunately, it's on the TPS 51980, which means this may well have a dead CPU. That's unfortunate. And we've got corrosion on the BIOS I/O lines as well. Let's see what else we can find. The temperature sensor up here, that's not too much of a problem if that's got issues. 3476 logic board. Interesting sort of color toning on there. Like I said, really for me, the M1 feels like a more powerful iPad with a proper laptop interface. Oh wow, we've got crew. This is sort of like just got a massive degree of splatter everywhere. But for general purpose loads, certainly the Intel x86 series tends to still be king of the castle. For specific corner situations, like corner cases such as encoding or decoding or whatever, anything that they have explicitly put dedicated hardware into for the M1, then yeah, I mean, that's going to kick the pants off the generic Intel CPU, of course. Much the same reason that we get GPU cards instead of using the generic integrated Intel graphics chips. But as a general purpose computer, it's hard to beat the x86 these days in terms of efficiency per sort of work. Alright, well, like I said, I'm genuinely thinking, oh yeah, look at that, that's just crumbled right off. Wow, what was that? That's weird. That actually, I don't even know if that was anything in particular. It certainly put a hole in that trace, but I don't know if that was actually, what have we got here? Gnarly. That looks like a wasp. Yeah, that's an old wasp that got caught by a spider. AMD 64 was a very impressive move on the market, I thought, because if you remember at the time, we were getting to the ends of the 32-bit situation, And we were all wanting 64-bit in terms to make life easier for us for larger and larger things. And of course, Intel came out with their god-awful Itanium architecture with the great belief that compilers would save us. But as it turned out, that was not the case. And I mean, by the time they got Itanium 2 out, well, it was just too late. Itanium 2 was a bit better. It had more promise. But the door was already, 64-bit x86 was already done and done. Opterons were a beautiful chip. I really enjoyed the Opterons. The AMD Opteron 248s, things like that, as a fantastic set of CPUs. Right. Well, I don't know what happened there, but we'll just rebridge that. Slot 1 Intel CPU. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, they were terrible, weren't they? And then AMD went along and just walked into that trap with them. What AMD calls theirs? Slot A. So Intel had slot 1, and then AMD said, yeah, we'll be slot A. I can't remember. Yeah, it was slot A. I mean, that's a bad Futurama joke. It's like, okay, well, you can be Universe 1 and we'll be Universe A. But certainly the Opterons were definitely a beautiful chip. They used a moderate amount of power, but they really set the scene for... okay, it looks like my wick's a little thicker than I anticipated. Hey, Ron Rogers. I was lucky enough that, I guess I'm biased, but Sun Microsystems sent me a V20Z dual Opteron system. One of their rack servers. It was a 1U server. No, this is not going to work. It's just too small for that. I'm trying to find an appropriate size of wire to use for this. Some 30 or 32 gauge single core would probably be good. Because naturally I don't have any of that around. I should, but I don't. Hey, Mohammed. I was trying to see if I can make some sufficiently fine, tight wire. Yeah, well, maybe I can just... I was thinking maybe I should just drop a 12060 ohm resistor over that. Yeah, I'm going to put a 12060 on it. Be fine with 603. Not sure, I'll just have to find... Well, first I'm going to find my box of... Oh, there they are. Gotta learn to curse at the universe more often. Oh, creature, I can always put 2 on there. What I really need is some kind of like pure copper strap or something like that. Well, like I said, just, you know, a nice thick chunky single strand copper wire. Or I can just try and bridge the hell out of it. Oh, come on, where? Seriously? I should have a container that has a whole bunch of zero ohm resistors already set up. LEDs, obscure values. Honestly, that's what 90% of my streams are these days. I should have this. It's somewhere around here. I don't know where it is. It was here 50 years ago when I used it, just the other day. Why isn't it here anymore? Who moved it? What am I doing here? Where are my pants? Yeah, that's pretty much how my streams are going these days. Ah, god damn it. Where? I don't know where that is. Okay. Oh, I've got another idea. The ghost moved it. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere. Well, that's a serious chunk of fuse. That's too chunky. That was a 0.1 header, if anyone's wondering for reference. That's also seriously chunky, but I might just go with it simply because it's already done. Pretty sure that's 28 gauge wire. Looks like it needs to be cut back a little bit more. But yeah, this is why it's handy to have slightly thicker cables around the workshop so that you can use single strands of thicker copper. Oh, that's not frickin' working. Damn it. Oh, I just realised I've got mains cable here. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, I do occasionally watch Coda. He's been pretty active lately, actually. Alright, yeah. Some wholesome mains rated cable. I should do the trick. Oh, for God's sake. Now, what we do not want to do here is to be an idiot more than usual and just crank on that piece of wire. Because even though you wouldn't think it imposes a lot of stress on that trace, the last thing you want to do is start ripping up that trace because you just put a little bit too much bending torque on it. Alright, I think we're good. Actually, it's interesting, Phil hasn't been here a couple of days, so I'm guessing he's busy with life. Okay, that there's definitely going to need to replace. I'm not sure whether it's one of the Miso Mossy type lines, but anything connecting to the pins of the BIOS like that, if it's messed up, you need to replace it. I don't know why I didn't think to use mains wire right in the first place. I got it done before it even realized it needed to be used. Okay, so we need to find out what that is. So we go to the schematics. Damn it. I don't know why my mouse is not working on this wood grain for some reason. It's real wood grain. Okay, so obviously not on the 239 anymore. What was this, the 3662 or something, was it? I can't remember. We'll find out. No, definitely not 3662. 3642 maybe. God damn you, Linux. They've got this new thing now where they don't bring the... No, oh god, that's the 1425. Okay, let's just have a look at the board number and find out. It is a 3476. Wow, we weren't even close. Yeah, there's this new trend now of stopping the stopping programs from basically doing anything that's useful or good for the user interface, like bringing Windows up and stuff like that. 3476, yeah. Instead it's like, no, I'm sorry, that's a security violation, we can't risk that, so we're not going to let you do that. And it's like, great, you're just killing the usability of everything. Alright, so what were we looking for? Oh yeah, that resistor up here. This one. And it's a 33 ohm 201. I've just noticed more and more that they cull functionality that's useful, but they don't give you a replacement. Like, it's fine. Okay, if you've got to jump through a couple more hoops, whatever. I guess that's what we do as programmers. You know, someone decides you can't do it this way anymore. That's a security violation, but you can do it this way if you authenticate through this. Fine. But Linux desktop systems and window manager and all that, there's this habit of just simply going, well, you guys can't have that anymore. Tough luck. Sucks to be you. If you want it back, go program your own desktop manager. It's like, yep, thanks guys. You're really helping the cause with your assholishness. That said, to be fair, it's not just Linux. Like in Windows, you can't... I don't know how you do it now, but you can't raise a window if you want. The best you can achieve, it seems, is to get the icon on the taskbar to blink. And so that is no fucking use to me. It's like the person messages me and says, I can't get a file dialog up. Every time I click the open, it just stops working. It's like, yeah, that's because Windows and Linux buried it. Yeah, Creature, that's probably a better concept behind it, yeah. Too lazy to make it secure, so we're just going to remove it. But it's very frustrating because often you'll write software that calls these functions and it's stable for a long time, and then all of a sudden you start getting queries from customers saying this won't work or that won't work, and you're like, what the hell's wrong with you? You know, you're an idiot. Of course it works. And then after a bit, you eventually dig in and you find out, sure enough, they've nerfed it. I mean, obviously, if you read all the application notes and the release notes and all that sort of stuff and check the deprecated list and yada yada yada, you'd probably catch it. The catching it's one thing, actually replacing it, no, that's another. In Windows app, you can ask it to get your attention and also blink an icon highlighter. This also pops up the hidden taskbar, but sometimes won't highlight. Yeah, that's just it. Yeah. That's right, creature. That's what I'm running into. And it's Windows and Linux is doing it too now. Now, the way you get around that is, of course, you start writing your own internal code for that sort of thing. Like, I'll write my own file selector and things like that. But the trouble is, it breaks the usability in different ways because, and Linux, again, is very bad for this. Like, if you have 5 different applications in Linux, you can guarantee you're probably going to have 5, when you go file open, you're going to have 5 different file open dialogues. And it wouldn't be so bad. You'd be happy to adopt standards if they didn't do this sort of shit to you. Where they go, here you go, here's a standard, use this. And you go, okay, you know what, that's pretty good. And then they go, oh yeah, no, sorry, we're taking that away because, you know, we're worried that little Timmy might accidentally load a executable file that he thought was a JPEG because it came up because some naughty application that his daddy accidentally downloaded when he clicked on a suspect site that he thought he'd get a bit of a perv on a pair of tits or something like that. Yeah, it's just like, very frustrating. Yeah, I'm just trying to work out where this part is that I'm looking at now. Aha. C6218. So I do apologize for my unpleasant language on that topic, but it's very frustrating when you take the time or when you take the bait of use the system provided tools and then they turn around and yank the tools away from you. It's basically, it's like a Charlie Brown, Lucy type scenario. Creature, we don't need to know that. Good God, man. Yeah, you'd spend all night and you maybe see 2 faces. Let's see, so this cap here is a 100 nanofarad, 16 volt, 402. What gets me though is there are definitely some programs that seem to be able to get around those limitations. Like I know there's a couple of programs and they can make they can make their associated windows float to the top, or I don't know how they're doing it. So there's obviously some way of doing it, but it doesn't seem to be something listed in the standard API. Oh, you gotta be, why me, why tonight? Is this because I yelled at Linux and, oh god, there's more crap there. Oh, that's gone. Right, we'll better remember to get to that. That cap is gone forever because I didn't hold on to it. That was just stupid of me. I should have had that capacitor in my tweezers before I brought the hot air down. Alright. Jim, more a case of, you know, I could express my opinion without having to resort to gratuitous expletives. I could aspire to be more like Caradog and state my offended opinion with a haughty voice. Something like, I don't know, I'm not going to do an imitation here, because he might not ever talk to me again. I don't mean of him, imitation of him, I mean imitation of just that high class sort of values type attitude. I don't know if he really is like that, but I'm just talking about English people. Not the soccer fans though, they're a bunch of mob. Yobbos. Ooh, that is not much of a veer to hang on to there. Yeah, there's been too much freedom on the parts on this tonight's stream. What is that, 5 or 6 parts we've blown away? It's a little too many. I was kind of hoping someone would kick back and say, it's not soccer, it's football. Yeah, that's definitely a veer top there that I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that one. By the way, for anyone who's newish here, if you're looking for the quintessential Australian experience, then you're definitely not on the right channel here. If you want something that's more genuine, wholesome Australian, you really need to involve electronics. You really need to get subscribed to Dave Jones. He is by far the more Australian chap. He actually sounds Australian, unlike myself. Hey, did Rez? Well, Cecilia, we do have rugby league and rugby union, of course. I think the thing is, people are looking for a ochre type Australian. And that's what I certainly am not. But Dave manages to sort of fake it really well. Alrighty, this is... sorry. This is going to be fun. We've got a situation where the damned... This pad that's missing and corroded away is this one here. Oh wait, we've got a test point, right. Amazing what I can find when I zoom out. Hooray for test points. Alright, so what we're going to do is we'll run a wire from there to there. So there to there. First we've got to get the cap in there. That's going to be fun. I may actually rotate that cap around so it points up here and then run the wire down there. Mostly because it's a bit tricky to try and handle a wire right up against the backside of these, what are these? These are display Thunderbolt ports. It's not even a cap, it's a resistor too, by the way. Agreeably, yes, Dave doesn't do repairs, but well, that's no drama. He still does interesting things. Okay, so this is actually a 12 ohm resistor. I'm gonna have to go donor board for this. I mean, it's possible I might have a 12 ohm in my array, but great. I'm gonna need, what's the bet? Almost everything I've got are 4924s. Yep, 4924, 4924, 4924. Around the outside, around the outside. BigClive.com. I do listen to his stuff quite a bit. I learn a good number of things from Big Clive, actually. He has particularly interesting discussions about live electrical circuits and things like that. And so I can sit there and go, right, Paul, don't do anything that Big Clive does because you'd probably kill yourself. Alright, let's see. Big chip. Aha, there we go. Right, so yeah, this is the one we want. I've actually bought a couple of things that Big Clive has suggested, so yeah. But he presents safety with mains power and things like that. He presents it in a very nice fashion. That's it, it's pretty moot for me because of the fact that, well, here in Australia, you can't touch your mains power at all. If you do, straight to jail. Okay, not quite that, but no touchy of the sparky stuff. There we go, Jimbo just brought that in. I mean, I wouldn't mind, I can appreciate that, but at the same time I feel like they should be able to let people gain a certification without having to go through a 4-year whatever apprenticeship. I mean, yeah, to me that sort of move just reeks of unionism. I'm not a big fan of unions, I'm sorry, not anymore anyway. I mean, I can appreciate throughout history they have been very advantageous, but they did get to the point in the 80s and such where they just got a little bit too cocky and powerful. Oops. And doing things like saying, right, you've got to have an apprenticeship before you can touch anything or even get a certification, that just reeks to me of self-protectionism. It's not really about the qualifications. I think, whether you like or dislike unions comes down a lot to how you see their impact on the industry or in life in general. And if you feel like that they have vastly, well, even just improved life consistently, then that's understandable, particularly for the amount of money you give them. But if you feel like they're just starting to become, just power concentrators, loafing around, kicking up a fuss just for the sake of kicking up a fuss, all that sort of stuff, rather than actually doing things for the workers. And it starts to leave bad taste in your mouth. Hey Lars, it's it's pretty much there really. I've got to work out shite. I've got to work out which trace to put this onto. Oh yeah, this one down here. I mean, I've been giving it a good testing. The casing, the way it's going to be held and all that sort of stuff is the only thing of concern. I need to put some rounded corners on the outer edge of the PCBs. But other than that, it's good. And it sounds silly, but I could have find this useful, the extra row of data that I can display. Like I'm using it right now, but obviously you can't see anything. Oh, that's the other thing, is I've got to finish writing the Windows application for it. The Linux one is pretty much good. The Windows one I haven't even really started. Not that it's a big change, fortunately. Okay. I will put protective goop around that. It's not like it's going to rub and shift or anything like that, so it should be good. VU style. I'm not going to be able to do that on a 16.2. I mean, I can do a good number of things on a 16.2 display with uploadables, user-defined characters and stuff, but yeah. Yeah, once again, Creature already tells me what I'm already done. Good job, Creature. Well done. See, it depends. Do you want a bar graph type VU as opposed to a nice analog movement VU? I was thinking of the latter. But yeah, bar graph you can do with user-defined characters. I don't know if you remember, but I had a product I put out for model aircraft. It was the Coulomb counter, the battery charge counter, and I had a lot of user-defined characters in that thing. That was using the 8x2 I2C displays. Yeah, I filled that thing up with user-defined characters. I think I got a video on it on YouTube somewhere. OLED. OLED can go to hell. I mean, don't get me wrong, OLED is very nice. I will not deny that. Oh yeah, that's going to screw the CPU up, that is. These are all, well not all, but a lot of these are CPU lines. I am genuinely still thinking of producing 2 different USB-C meters. I am thinking of making just the wedge board and then a display one. So the wedge board will be nothing more than just simply to get the data to your PC, whereas the display one will give you a display. Geez, that cooled down fast. Well, it doesn't matter that the traces are missing on there. Basically, the main thing here is to ensure that you don't have any kind of intertrace connectivity, anything like that, corrosion or whatever. This is basically just a diagnostic debugging header for the factory. Or development, I don't know which, maybe both. But yeah, a lot of these lines go straight to the CPU. Alright. Let's see if we actually get anything happening now. Oh, you know how I said I wouldn't need my power supply? Yeah, well, I was wrong. Okay, power supply's up. I got bugs getting in my hair. Like the little nasty little black bugs that... the worst thing about them, I've got to admit, is that they stink. Ah, they're just... Alright, let's get a MagSafe cable mess. Plug into our power supply. Okay. Alright, yep, we've got 18 volts roughly. Poor man. Great. Stinko, stinko, stinko. Disgusting-o. It's not like I've got a window open or anything. They're very good at finding the smallest of gaps to work their way in. I can feel it. It's crawling around up there. Oh my god, it's driving me mad. Oh, I just want to get it out of my head. Ugh. Yuck. You know what? Yeah, you gotta... Damn it. I do hate the way that they design these cables. It's just incredibly frustrating trying to reconnect them or route them to get the board in and then get them through. So there's basically no real clearance, so you're forced to either fold the cable back on itself more than you would like, or you risk crimping the leading edge of the FPC. Yeah, very annoying. See, obviously when they assemble these boards, they probably do it before their battery goes in. And that makes it easier because the cables just run up there. Which is why on things like the 1466, I take the battery out, because it makes it easier. This stuff we don't need connected yet. Let's see if we don't have a drive in here, so we will put our Mac USB stick in. We'll have to do it this side. Okay. I'm not plugging the battery in yet. We've got a green light. What's our current? 8900. Okay, it's booting current. Okay, no, we actually got a boot screen. Surprising. Yeah. What's the time? Oh, it's almost midnight. Okay, this will be the end of the night. Well, we've still got a boot yet. We don't have a battery, so it's gonna run pretty crap. Let's plug the battery in. Okay, battery's plugged in. You can do that on these machines. Assuming, yeah, there we go. Caradog, did you end up ordering those honeycomb filters and socks? The socks are pretty funny, yeah, there's not much to them. I've got one here because I bought two. But yeah, they're basically just like a shower cap. The material is, I don't know how to describe it. It's got a bit of a sheen to it. Almost like tent nylon kind of thing. But yeah, they're making these for like 10 cents a piece or something and selling them for $10. But they do the job nicely. Okay, battery charge is reporting. Okay. We don't have Wi-Fi, that's to be expected because we do not have that bloody bug. Yeah, everything looks good. Battery is reporting 253 amp consumption rate. Yeah, it's a little off. Let's check the keyboard on this. Okay, left is good, escape is good, caps is good. Okay, the keyboard's good, thankfully. So it's nice when the keyboard's good, battery's good. What can we do? See how Valley goes. So run the Valley. On this machine, I think we'll get about 20 to 30 frames per second. I should check the brightness of the screen. That's at maximum. Yeah, we're doing 26, 27, so it's not bad. We're at 3.5 amp. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised, Arnold, about that gecko. Or one of them. Maybe the kitty cats have been keeping them under control. Okay, temperature's coming up, so that's good. It's funny, you know, all the PC gaming guys and whatnot, they all get very concerned if they see anything over like 60 Celsius. But on the Macs, if you don't see 100 Celsius when you try and run Valley, you're worrying because you think, well, what's holding back all the, what's holding back the CPU or the GPU? That's just one of the tests. Like, you run it, if you don't see 100, then something's amiss. Quit from that. So yeah, we'll just call this fixed. It'll have to go through the ultrasonic cleaning process, and then I need to secure that wire and make sure it doesn't drift anywhere. Just put some silicone RTC or something like that just to hold it in place. I don't like using the UV cure for that because it's just too brittle, and any sort of vibrations it does tend to actually break free. I sooner would use hot glue for holding those wires in place than I would UV cure. Alright, that's it. Oh, right in the eye. Yep, bugs are telling me I need to get to sleep. Hey there, Warren. Unfortunately, we're closing up, buddy. Very sorry about that. Alright, so that one's fixed. And that's the end of the stream. So, thanks for watching. Hope it was reasonably entertaining. Nice way to waste your night. I'm going to go off, get some food, kick back a little bit. I don't know if I'll be playing any zombies or not, but we'll see. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, you all take care. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.